Hey there girlie, it's Coach Kristen here, and in this module we are going to be helping you get set up for your practical eyelash extension exam. Okay, so within this module we're going to cover some supplies that we need to buy, how we need to label everything, how we need to set everything up in our bags correctly. So I do have some notes right here as well to keep us on track. And one thing that's very, very important for us to remember when it comes to taking our eyelash extension practical exam is PSI is very, very particular about what is labeled and what is not labeled. Okay, so that's what we're going to cover today as well. But please make sure that you follow everything that we do need to label and everything that we don't need to label. Because if you label things that aren't supposed to be labeled, you will lose points. If you don't label things that are supposed to be labeled, you will lose points. So we're gonna get right into it and get all this figured out. Go over everything that's actually needed, and if you have already went over your written portion of your exams, you know, I did have a Google Doc that was sharing all the supplies that we need to start buying for our practical eyelash extension exam. So let's go over just a few general supplies, but like I said, we're going to go over everything that is truly needed per bag for our kit. Okay, so first off, we're going to need Ziploc baggies. Okay, make sure you get the gallon size and also make sure to get the smaller size, the quart size. Okay. You are going to need a label maker as well. I got this label maker from Amazon, 20 bucks on Amazon. It's really easy to use, Bluetooth a label maker. So if not, you can go to, Office Depot or wherever you need to go, but you can order this on Amazon. I will link it below this video. Of course, we are going to need a box, okay? So you are going to need to have a box to hold everything in. This is an 18 by 11 size box. Everything that I'm going to show you, all of my products I got from Dollar General, okay? I did not want to go to Walmart to go and get all of this stuff that was needed. I try to stay out of Walmart as much as I can. So I went to go to Dollar General to get all of the supplies needed for my kit. Besides, of course, like my mannequin head and lash supply stuff, okay? But let's go ahead and take out our bags because your kit is going to be set up by 3 different bags. So we're going to take these out and then we're going to go through them. And that way we can cover what our 3 bags are, how they need to be labeled, and how they should be stored in our lash kit for our exam. Alrighty, so starting off with our materials and what needs to be labeled. So your box is going to need to be labeled pre-sanitized, okay, pre-sanitized. My label maker was acting up and so it wrote it a little bit small, but you need to have your kit saying pre-sanitized, okay? And then we're going to go ahead and set this down. Okay, and now we're going to go through our bag. So our first bag is going to be our pre-examination setup and disinfection. So this bag needs to be labeled as your pre-examination setup and disinfection bag, okay? And we're going to go over everything that's in that bag. So we are going to have a water bottle with our EPA, labeled EPA disinfectant on our water. We have our water bottle labeled EPA disinfectant. This is what needs to be labeled on your water bottle. Okay, we also are going to have paper towels labeled paper towels. Okay, you're going to need a trash bag. It has been said that you can take a Ziploc bag and use it as your trash bag. I do not recommend that because whenever it comes time to throw away all your stuff, it's not going to fit in a Ziploc bag. So make sure to have a trash bag, and it does need to be labeled trash bag, as you can see right there. Okay. We also are going to have hand sanitizer, okay? Please make sure to get a hand sanitizer that is already labeled hand sanitizer. If it's not labeled, then you will need to label it hand sanitizer, okay? Also, tape. You can use heavy duty tape or you can use regular tape. However, remember, when it's time, remember that if you end up using, when it comes time for your test, you're gonna have to tape your bag to your area. So if you use, disposable tape, let's say it doesn't hold and your bag falls, if your bag falls then remember you can't pick it up. So make sure to use tape that's gonna work. This tape is pretty good, but like I said, if you want to do heavy duty tape, that's okay. If you do heavy duty tape, you will need a pair of scissors. So bring your scissors with you and you can put that in this pre-examination setup and disinfection bag, okay? But other than that, that is all for this bag. So we're gonna go ahead and put everything back in there. So remember, trash bag, labeled trash bag. All this goes in our pre-examination setup and disinfection bag. Okay. Hand sanitizer goes back in our kit. Paper towels goes back in our pre-examination setup and disinfection bag. And then our EPA, our bottle. Make sure and get the smaller water bottle, okay? This one is gonna sit outside of my bag, but you don't want it, you want to be able to close this bag. So make sure and get the smaller water bottle, that way it fits in your bag, okay? This is the first bag that goes back in our kit, okay? Okay, so we're gonna put this bag 1 in our kit. Alrighty, and remember you can't set this down on the floor whenever you're testing, so you're gonna have somewhere to put your kit, but don't ever put your kit on the floor, okay? Okay. Now, our second bag is going to be for our eyelash extension application service. Alrighty, so our second bag is going to be labeled eyelash extension application service. Okay, so you can see it labeled right there. Now we're going to take out everything that goes in this bag. So, paper towels, more paper towels labeled paper towels. Glue rings, not labeled. Glue rings or jade stone. Okay, our tweezers and some small working scissors. This bag is going to be labeled pre-sanitized instruments. Okay, we also have our lash glue, our lash adhesive, labeled adhesive. Okay, we also have 1 tray of classic lashes, iPads, not labeled. Okay, makeup wipes, makeup removers, and 2 towels. Okay, so now you're gonna need 2 towels, okay? You're gonna need 1 to lay down and put your actual mannequin head on, and then you're gonna need another towel to drape the mannequin head when you are practicing placing your lash extensions, okay? Not practicing, when you are taking the test to perform your lash extensions on your mannequin, okay? But that is separate, so let's stay with our bag. Okay, but that's what these 2 towels are for, okay? So 1 to lay down the mannequin on, and then one to drape your client with, okay? So we're gonna put our towels back in our bag. Now remember, this is for our eyelash extension application service. So we're gonna put these back in here. Okay. And for your makeup removers, so remember, you're not gonna have to do a lash. Okay, so with our makeup wipes, you do not have to label these, and also remember, you're not gonna have to perform a lash bath service because this isn't a real client, but PSI wants to know that you know that you're supposed to cleanse the lashes before you start each and every service, okay? So makeup wipes go back in our kits. Okay, iPads, these do not have to be labeled. Make sure and grab you a couple of pair. Like I said, you never know what can happen. So 2 to 4 pair of iPads. Okay, our lash extension tray does not need to be labeled. Please make sure to just take in your lash extension tray only. Okay, your adhesive, please make sure to label your adhesive. Your glue does need to be labeled adhesive. Your regular label isn't gonna do, okay? Pre-sanitized instruments, make sure to have a couple of pair of tweezers, at least 2 pair. You never know what can happen if you drop your tweezers, and a small pair of work scissors. Glue rings, not labeled, or your jade stone, but does not need to be labeled, goes back in our eyelash extension service, application service bag. And then our paper towels, labeled paper towels. Make sure and label these. Okay, we're going to close this. And now this goes into our kit since this bag is now ready to go. Okay. So, I'm gonna put this back in our this bag. Okay, all right. Okay, so the next bag that we have is going to be for our mannequin head. Now, your mannequin head, obviously the bag doesn't need to be closed because it's not going to fit. But with your mannequin head, okay, please make sure that your mannequin, okay, so your mannequin head isn't going to fit inside your Ziploc bag. I mean, it needs to fit inside your bag. It does not need to close though, okay? So your mannequin head does need to fit inside your bag, but it doesn't need to close, okay? Another thing is, you want to make sure your mannequin head is clean. It needs to be clean, okay? Mine is not clean because I've had this mannequin head for a super long time. But make sure that your mannequin head is clean, otherwise you will get points taken off, okay? Also, your mannequin head does need to be prepped with lashes. So your practice strip lashes need to be on your mannequin head already ready to go before we even go into our testing room. You cannot take these with you and set up while you are testing, okay? So please make sure that your mannequin head is prepped and ready to go with her lashes on, okay? So we're gonna put this back in our bag. You do not need to label this bag. And then this is gonna, alrighty, and now that our mannequin is good to go and is prepped, now we're gonna add this mannequin to our eyelash extension kit for our practical. Alrighty, and now our last bag is going to be our blood exposure incident service, okay? So we talked about this on the written exam. This bag needs to be labeled blood exposure incident service, okay? So let's take out what is in here. We are gonna have another Ziploc bag in here labeled biohazard, and this is going to be double bagged. So you can see it's double bagged, okay? We have a blood exposure kit with all of our tools. And we have gloves as well. So let's go over what is in our blood exposure incident service bag. So what is in our blood exposure kit? Sorry y'all, this beanie is driving me crazy, but it's cold in here and my ears hurt. Alrighty, so gloves, all right? I have 2 pairs of gloves in here. If you want to put 3 or 4 pair, that's fine. You do not need to label your gloves, and also you are going to just put these back in your blood exposure incident service bag right there. Okay, for our blood exposure kit, in here we have Band-Aids, okay? Band-Aids, you need Band-Aids, okay? We have gauze, and we also have alcohol wipes, okay? Alcohol wipes. Now, I did label, why did I say label? I did label my alcohol wipes because what I did was I went and bought a first aid kit, and it already came with the Band-Aids, alcohol wipes, and gauze. So because it came like this, my alcohol wipes weren't labeled alcohol wipes. So I had to actually go and make a label and label them alcohol wipes because we don't want to take no chances. We want everything to be labeled exactly what it is. So if you decide to get this pack from Dollar General instead of the whole, because maybe you already have Band-Aids and gauze, I already had a whole lot of that stuff. So I just went to go buy this, okay? So this goes in our blood exposure kit. This is what we are going to use so please make sure, please remember that you do have to do a blood exposure. This is the very last part of your practical exam, okay? So the first part is sanitation, disinfection, getting set up. Then we move into the actual application service, and then afterwards we do a blood exposure incident. So let's say that you drop your tweezers, you cut your client, you accidentally poke her with your scissors. They want to make sure, wants to know that you know what to do in the event, like I said, you cut your client, in the event that there's blood during the service, okay? So for your alcohol wipes, your gauze, your Band-Aids, everything that you're gonna use to clean up your client, please make sure that when you go to dispose and discard of these, you put this in the double bagged biohazard bag, okay? So your gauze, your Band-Aids, and your alcohol wipes, all of these are going to go back in our blood exposure kit, okay, just like so. And then we're going to put this back in our blood exposure incident service bag. And then, like I said, our biohazard bag is last. So you're going to print this biohazard out from Google, and then you're going to tape it to your Ziploc bag, and then you are going to double bag this. And like I said, all of your trash is going to go in this double bag, the second bag. Okay, so all of your trash, your tweezers, anything that was contaminated during the blood exposure incident service, we are going to put all of those materials in here, and then we put this in the trash bag separately, okay? So, close this up. Okay, and then this goes back in our blood exposure incident service bag. So we're going to put this in here. Close this up, and now this is going to go back in our practical exam lash kit, and that is all. Okay, so put this in here. This is our last bag, and now our kit is good to go. Alrighty, so we just put our lid on, and our kit is good to go. Okay, girlies, so now we are completely set up for your practical eyelash extension exam, okay? Remember, we have to take our written portion first, and we have to pass our written portion before we can go and take our practical exam, okay? But practical exam is gonna be fairly easy, like I said. If you follow step by step and you make sure that you label everything, and make sure not to label what's not, make sure don't label what's not supposed to be labeled, and you follow these steps, you will be completely okay, girly. But if you have any questions, please let me know, send me an email, or make sure and hop on the coaching call to ask and figure out what maybe you're not feeling good about, okay? Our kit is set up. The next video will be on what to expect when we actually go to test, okay? So we're gonna do a whole video on how we have to unpack our kit, how we have to do step by step, because remember, PSI is very step by step by step. If you don't follow the steps, then this is how we lose points, okay? So please make sure to go and get your supplies that you need. Make sure that we get everything we need to make and set up our lash extension practical exam kit, because this is mandatory, okay? So make sure and get everything. Like I said, if you have any questions, please let me know. But other than that, I will see you on the next module, okay? Okay, bye, girlies.